He's eating solids now. That's awesome.
Yeah, Rob.
Lobster flakes. It's been a great 4 days of eating solid food.
Everybody says, hey.
How's it going?
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Where are you all at?
That route down in downtown New Albany.
Oh, cool.
It's like that collaborative workspace.
You should have
Cool.
told me that you had a call from Texas. Gary.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
My head's all big on the big screen.
Can you guys hear me online?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I just want to make sure. It's my first time going on Zoom here, so I want to make sure we are good.
I'm gonna turn my camera off so I don't want the big see my big head on the big screen.
They're like, yes, please.
Craig, you don't want to be pinned in our class?
I'll pass.
Oh, all right. Well,
So-
I'll share.
So it's not just me. I've got 4 others in here as well. So you've got to
Well, we got a bunch of people in person too. So
Good.
go. Okay. So, all right, everyone's got computers, has computers out. Okay.
So is this called, do we call this Authentisign or do we call this WolfNet or what do we call this?
So it's Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
And you go into the actual signing piece, it turns into Authentisign.
So what should we refer it to? Like when we're talking about it within our teams and stuff, should we refer to it as Lone Wolf or should we refer to it as Authentisign?
I would just say Lone Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah, because all the syndications on the back end say Lone Wolf.
Okay.
Hi, hello. I haven't met everyone that's in here, but I'm Lindsay Johnson. And so I am the new Director of Operations for Keller Williams, Southern Indiana, Louisville, Lexington, and Cincinnati. And I've been the MCA in Cincinnati for 5 years. And so I just transitioned into this role. And you will find out very quickly that I get really nerdy when it comes to our technology. So I apologize if I get really excited and you're like, oh. Don't worry, I promise I'm sane for the most part. And also when we start talking about numbers, I really like numbers. So if you ever want to get together and sit down and like look at an economic model, that's like my love language. So I'd be happy to sit down with you guys. But today we are going to talk about Lone Wolf. Now I have a login that's syndicated to our Cincinnati office. So when we start looking at the actual contracts, your contracts are going to look a little bit different than mine, but any kind of feedback, if you see on your end that a contract may be incorrect, or maybe it's not filling out the right way, let me know, because I've been working on the back end of this for a couple of weeks now. And because I'm not as familiar with your all's contracts, I just need a little bit of feedback. You can send them to me in an email, you can shoot me a text, you can let me know in this class, I will write it down, and we'll get everything working up to speed. So got a few more people entering in. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're just going to do a few things together to make sure that we are set up properly. So online, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right, so first step for Lone Wolf, and I just want to let you know, kind of a little background on it. Lone Wolf owns Broker Metrics. Do you guys know what Broker Metrics is? Nope.
Yes.
Yes, it is a syndication to Broker Metrics, Lone Wolf. They have a syndication with every single MLS and board. So one of the great benefits of Lone Wolf is that we get up-to-date contracts in real time, and we don't have to worry about, okay, broker has to email the MCA has to send contracts to DocuSign to get them fillable, and wait for them to get them fillable. It's instantaneous, which is great. So all the contracts that you're going to see in your account are the most up-to-date from your board, okay? And I have syndications with the, is it Cyber Indiana? board, and then also the Louisville. So if your Kentucky license as well, those contracts are in there. So what we're gonna do, this is kind of workshop style. So we're going to set up your Lonewolf on the back end. And first, we're gonna come up to, so if you go up to your name, we want to go immediately into your settings. I'm in command. I'm sorry. This is KW. Yes, if we disable the DocuSign, it will not disable the DocuSign. So anything that we're doing today will not disrupt what you're currently doing in DocuSign. Now, just so you know, DocuSign will deprecate on July 14th. July 1st, sorry, July 1st. So you do have a couple of weeks to kind of play around. You can, but it's not going to be a fun experience. You're not, yeah, you're not going to be able to
go into my command later and
I can already tell what we need to do before she said anything.
okay, of course you do.
So everyone should be in settings. All right, and your Lonewolf now.
Okay.
All right, and we want to, yours should have a blue button that says, we want to be on the browser. So you can open up your Safari browser or Chrome preferably. You want to go to agent.kw.com. So you're not going to be able to do this from an app version right now. So you're going to be agent.kw.com. You go to the top right where your name is. You click on settings, and it's going to take you to your applications, your different integrations. Everybody with me? Almost. Here is the just let me know. Are you going on your side? Are you sure? I can help you if you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you
Absolutely. Have you out. All right, so on here, we're getting into command. We're all getting into command. Yep, just put it on your name. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so you may have to, so Lonewolf may not be at the top of your list of apps, so you may have to scroll down, but it should say Lonewolf, and there'll be a big blue button right here that says connect. Now, once you connect a Lonewolf account or create a Lonewolf account, you cannot delete it. So what you have to use when you create your account is you have to use your primary email that you use for your real estate business. So if you're using a KW account for your real estate business, you can KW account. If you're using a Craig at Big Red Team, use that for your business. So we're going to create your Lonewolf account utilizing your primary email you use for your business.
And is it correct that once you set it up, it's the email for life?
For that. Yes. You got this. Oh, try. Do you have Chrome on your computer? Thanks, name. Apple. Yeah. Let's do this. We'll connect after the class. I'm going to show you how to use it, and then we can set yours up. I haven't seen that. Have you all been able to connect?
Yeah.
Okay, so once you hit connect, you create your, if you do not have a login, what you need to do is hit sign up. Yeah, and you're going to create your account. Are you guys doing okay online on setting this up?
Yep, I'm not doing it because I'm using the computer, but the rest of them are.
Okay. If you have any issues online, so what we're doing is we're registering our primary email address that we use for a real estate business for Lonewolf. You guys are all good in here, you kind of let me know, so I don't want to go too fast. Yes, and once you get signed up, it's gonna ask you what experience you want. You want to make sure that you hit agent experience. Right, so yeah, if you're not an agent, which option do you pick? You already have. Okay,
License number? Is that what agent ID is? Is it just?
yeah. Agent, what did it show? Like, hit that.
Is the agent ID the MLS ID, agent ID?
Say that one more time.
Is the agent ID the MLS ID or what? What is the agent ID?
So let me log in real quick.
Okay.
Does it get you to this screen similar, or is it
Yeah.
set up?
So I'm with Craig. I'm working on my account, and I got connected. I followed what you said, and then it said complete your profile. So I clicked on that, and then it's asking for like, do you want the agent experience or the broker experience? And then it asked what state are you in, etc. And then at the bottom it says agent ID. Is that just our license number, or what is that?
So when I'm in here, it asked me what MLS I was affiliated with.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like, is this what it looks like on your end?
Yeah, now if you go all the way down, you'll see what I'm talking about. See agent ID there?
Yeah, so you pick your MLS and then it's gonna be your MLS ID.
Okay.
What if you have two MLSs?
You can add multiple. So
Okay.
you just start one and then hit continue. And then you can come up here and you can add MLS. You can add an MLS up here, but I think that, so are you in two different states? Is that the thing? Okay.
Yeah, Indiana and Kentucky.
All right, I'm gonna get back to you on that. I'm making my notes.
Kentucky has spelled MLSs, we also partners with licensing in the north of Kentucky. You don't have full access, but you have searchable access.
Yeah. So you want, if you're in Kentucky, because the syndication is gonna be for the documents. So, and giving you permission to actually edit those documents, so you sign up, you just sign up for bar for Kentucky and then the next word. But I'm gonna get back to you on agents with multiple MLSs. So I would just sign up now, for the primary one, and then I will get back to you all on the multiple MLSs. So I need to wait. It's your sign, I wait. You won't know.
No, sorry, ID is like your login.
Like, did they send an email?
It should say like.
Yeah, you'll get your verification code.
Hey, how do I get there? When did I find something?
Yeah.
Yes. This is just what I'm. It's what you can just log into the start.
Yeah, it's
You say the card number.
got a letter, so it's like, it's just read it.
It's on your matrix. Or not matrix, on the.
I just have to refresh it. So what you do some.
You can pull yourself up and it says agent ID right here. Found it, like you pull your, it's that you, like your login, like how you log into the MLS, you have a number. Oh, is it the package? Yeah, it's the package, like you pulled up your name.
So you want to make sure when you're,
So you're.
Transact Foundation, and then you do that on the last page. So you want to make sure that when you're on here, you can be under the foundation, like under the personal, or you can be under transaction, which is going to show your actual transactions. But if you don't see where you can add the MLS, just kind of toggle back and forth as it kind of updates. Everyone good in here? Good? You guys good online?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the biggest thing, what we're going to do right now is we're going to test an opportunity. Okay. So if you go, we're going to jump back into command and you're going to set up a test opportunity with your name. Now, just like DocuSign, when you create an opportunity and you want to get your documents together, we're going to start in command because it has that syndication of our required documents. So if everyone wants to jump in, I would just suggest creating an opportunity with under your personal name. And we're just going to create a test file. All right, I'm going to create, I want everyone to do a buyer. So if you guys could create a test opportunity as a buyer, because there's a couple of really fun functions that it has. So buyer opportunity. You can put in as much information in here as you want, or you can just hit create. And I'm going to open this up. All right.
So just
So
kind of.
is everyone with me on the opportunity? Create opportunity. Okay. We're going to jump over to documents. And like our market center in Cincinnati, we are in multiple states. So you want to make sure you pick your checklist. All right. Now on the right-hand side, you're going to see that it says sync with e-sign provider. So your DocuSign, as you use DocuSign right now, it's not going away. So if you want to, if you're not feeling comfortable, I mean, DocuSign goes away July 1st. So in the meantime, continue to use DocuSign if you want. But what we want to do is for this, we're going to click on Lonewolf Transact.
Okay.
Where's the Lonewolf Transact?
So you have to hit the arrow. Yes. Everyone good? Okay. You good online?
Yes.
So similar to DocuSign, command is going to build your document room with your required documents. What's nice about it, and I'm not sure who all has used Document before, but Transact Lonewolf has folders in your I don't know, transaction in sequence of the transaction itself. So we're all doing buyers, so it's going to have my consultation documents. I scroll down a little bit, it's going to have my under contract documents. So it's organized in the same layout as it's organized in command, which DocuSign didn't do that. All right, so we have all of our required documents. Transactions, Lonewolf has the same features as far as auto-fillable options. So before you start writing contracts in here, we want to make sure that we have on the left-hand side as much information as possible. So on the left-hand side, we have parties. Okay. So in here, in this instance, my broker is already added to this. My I'm the buyer and I'm also the buyer's agent. So you can add all the parties in here. So it should pull information over from the contact card. If you have a buyer that has a spouse that also needs to be in the party, you want to make sure when you create that opportunity that you add that name as well, and it's going to pull over the email and all the information. But you click on the parties and you can easily add a party if you want. If you jump back over to paperwork, I can go to the property. Oops, this is where I'm going to get nerded out. Ready? I'm sorry. Okay, so the wonderful thing about this is it has a syndication to all the MLS. So when you are writing a purchase contract, you jump onto the property details and you import property data. You have two options for this. You can import it directly from the MLS, or you can import it from a tax source. When you are doing a listing, this option is available. So I played around with it last night and I did a listing as if I was going to sell my house. And it's syndicated to the Hamilton County auditor site, and it pulled over for me the property details, my parcel number, the legal description, the year the house was built, all the stuff that's public information on auditor site, pulled in and pre-filled for my listing contract. So when we have a buyer, you can syndicate, so you have your source, which I'm part of Cincy MLS, and you can type in the MLS number, and it's going to pull all that information from the MLS, parcel numbers, the bedrooms, everything. Now, I don't have an example for a listing on here, but if you guys have one that you know of, put that information.
So mine's usually tax was.
Okay, so what we need to do here is you need to indicate your, did you log into the MLS?
Here.
Connected. All right, so what I'm thinking on here is that it might take a minute. Property. Okay, I'll have to get back to you on that. We have the same issue?
No, we can do this now, right? These are using this now.
Absolutely.
And there is a additional form to go get this, that you just like, if I wanna, it has specific here, but whenever I wanna add a form, I can just right here. Okay.
Yeah, and you have paperwork, it's all syndicated to the MLS, and you just, it's just similar like DocuSign where you have it.
Search it.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you get that? I don't know, I don't know where, when you got it.
Absolutely. Okay. So the details page is on the left-hand side. So if you want. So that. So all of the information for the detail part. Is over here. And then you just click on property. Yeah, okay, thank you. Absolutely. All right, so just like in DocuSign and in Dotloop, we're writing her. We want to put in as much information as possible because the forms are all set up to pull that information and put it into your purchase contract. So to quickly, so I'm just gonna, because I don't have an MLS number, I'm just gonna throw in a property randomly. All right. Again, if you've got the MLS number, I don't have an MLS number for this example, you can put this information in here. Legal description, all this stuff will pull over when you syndicate it to an MLS listing. You always want to make sure after you make adjustments to hit save on the lower left-hand side. And then on the left-hand side again, you can fill in the offer information. So what are you offering on this property? Are we gonna offer 200,000? Deposit, 2,000 escrow? You can put in the offer date. Again, it's going to autofill this onto the contract. So as much information, you can add conditions and it will put that onto the contract. All right, go to paperwork. All right. Now the fun part. You can click multiple documents that you want to check out. Or you can just, so you can click similar to DocuSign. When you start clicking the box, you have down here the editor. So what you do in Transact Lonewolf is that you will edit the documents. You don't have to create the e-signature or for DocuSign. We're just going to edit the documents, get those ready to go, and then we'll get the signatures. So you select which documents that you want to edit. You go to editor, and it's going to pull that up for you. And it will pre-fill as much as you want.
That's what I got. Oh, then I went back in and it popped back up now.
It worked after you did it.
So I did it the first time, but I just tried it again.
Yeah, so if you run into that error message, just go back and try it again. Okay, so if you receive that error message, go back and try it again. That is something that they're working on. Okay, so here's where you edit. You can preview. So it looks a little bit similar to DocuSign, where you fill out the information. Anything that is date related, you click on it and it looks like a date. It's not, you don't have to type it in. And you just scroll down and you edit as much as possible. Something important to note. This is just the editor for the content of the contract. This has nothing to do with initials or signing. That comes on the next one. So if you're going through the document and you're like, there's no signature box, don't worry about that. Because when we get into the signing part, that's when those pop up. You guys all have residential property disclosures, correct? Right? Your client has to sign it. They have to fill it out. What's great in the Lonewolf is that they're forced to actually, they have mandatory sections that they have to fill out as they sign it. So it's really difficult for them to return it to you with just a signature and not filled out. I just wanted to note that. So on here, you can go through, you can fill out your contract. Over here on the parties is still your auto-fillable options, your details page. So if you needed to add a different party to this transaction, or if you wanted to update the MLS information or the offer information to pre-fill it, you have different tools. If you need to add a text box, or if you need to do a strike through, you can add those as well. All right, so on here, and also on the left-hand side, say you forgot a contract, you have other contracts that are in this transaction, you can quickly add them into here to update. You don't have to go back into the room and reselect them and go back in. Okay, so that's just editing the document. Now, you can get to the signature part two different ways. After you go through here and edit, top right-hand corner, you can go to prepare signature, or you can go back into the Transact and select the documents that you want to sign and go on. So now we're going into Authenticign through here. You can select which folder you want to go into. If you want, I'm just going to continue to keep them in my consultation and I'm going to hit create. So this is where all the initials and all the signatures are actually going to show up. I'm going to add participants. You can add a pin and so this is where you set the mapping. So in this particular contract, the buyer and buyer's agent, you can designate who's signer 1, who's signer 2, who's the agent, and assign the signature blocks. And you can scroll down and you can see on here, this is where my signature block is, but I don't think. Add participants. I think it's getting confused because I'm using the same map signers. Buyer 1 is Lindsay Johnson. Okay. Signers. You can set a signing order that I'm just finding there. Add yourself. And this, sorry, this is, sorry, buyer. Okay. So you may have to just assign your, if you're doing this as yourself as an example, obviously mine's set up by the same email, but you have to make sure that you have deciphered, you have buyer's agent Lindsay, and then you have buyer Lindsay. And when you add the participants, so if I added a third person or a buyer 2, then this buyer 2 signature box would come up. Okay. So this is something where you can make sure that, I don't know if you ever have where you have one buyer that signs for buyer 1 and buyer 2 on accident. I've run into that in Cincinnati in a couple areas, but it's going to map it out for you, all the signatures. We go down to the second page. This is an internal document that I need to work on for Cincinnati. Okay, so once you just double check, make sure everything's good, you hit next. You can designate that it sends a reminder, and then you hit send. Now, after you hit the signer, you can see that you have 0 of 2 signed. And you can resend invites, you could reset duplicate signing details, or you could delete. So if you send it off and you're like, oh no, I need to retract this, you can just easily delete it. You can click on it, it's going to give you more information, which documents. You can see the participants, remote signers. You can see if they've the history of the transaction. So if somebody opens a document and closes it, you can track the fact that they've actually received it. So if you're sending it to a listing agent and you're going to verify that they've opened it, you can do it through here. All right. This is so everything. So as like in DocuSign, where you have your e-signature, the envelope history, that's what signings are. You can go back to your paperwork. And it's similar to DocuSign, where these blue ones are forms. So you can reuse this form. If you're a buyer's agent and you're sending out multiple offers, once you get fully executed contracts, they're going to show up in a different color, and you can reuse this form over and over again. So if you're writing multiple offers, so you don't have to create a whole nother opportunity for every single property that you write on. One opportunity for a buyer and one transaction for the documents. Okay. What kind of questions does everyone have on this? It's pretty straightforward. There's a couple of, oh, yep.
Let's say we have a Amish buyer or whatever, and they signed all of their documents by hand, but we then need to send it to the seller to accept. How do we upload a regular PDF signature type document?
Yep. So once the documents are signed, they show up in here as green in a completed form. And similar, you can select as you select documents, you get a bulk action feature at the bottom. So you can email directly through here, send it to someone specific. It will attach it as PDFs. You can download, you can print.
How do we get?
Right, but how do I upload a document, a PDF document that I need to add signatures to?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We do a lot of hand contracts.
Yeah, you're right.
And then we need to put them in there so we can get the other.
Got it. Sorry, I misunderstood. You can hit add paperwork and upload, and you can drag and drop.
Perfect. And then it just lets me add signatures as needed. It will find them, or does it have a drag and drop box feature kind of thing if it's not auto mapping it?
Let me see.
Sorry, we always have some weird
Hey,
things.
you know what? This is good.
Sorry.
So I
Okay.
wonder if I can drag and drop. No, that doesn't do that. So if I add paperwork, upload,
And maybe drag and drop there, yeah, that's.
you can drag and drop here, and then you upload the file, and then it puts it here as not filed, and you can drag it into if it's like under contract. Yep. Does that answer your question?
I think so. I think we'll just probably play around with it and see what else it can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all the stuff I'm gonna nerd out about. Up here, if you go to the top right-hand corner, and I was talking to Tracy about this, I am going to work on templates that will have all of the brokerage specific information that will autofill for you. And to do that, up here, you can apply a template. And it's going to say, well, I'm working on this on Cincinnati, but it will say Indiana buyer or Indiana listing, Kentucky buyer, Kentucky listing. And so when you apply those templates, it will fill out the brokerage information, the license number, all the random stuff that you don't have to like look up every single time. And that's the office specific one. What's really exciting is you can create templates yourself. If you go back into transactions, you can create templates specific to your team. And let me do example, personal, and you can say hire. You can create a template. You can add the paperwork from libraries. You hit search, select library. Again, I'm in Ohio. I can select Realtor Alliance and say I want my buyer agreement. All right, I have a glare, so it's kind of like hard to see on here. Okay, so I can choose a document. I can open up this document. Again, this is in templates. And I can have in here pre-filled out information. This is probably not the best form to fill it to for an example, but say you charge a transaction fee. You could jump into your purchase or your buyer rep agreement and write in what you typically charge on your transaction fee so that it shows up on every single one of your contracts. If you're on a team, you can update to where it discloses. In Ohio, we have to disclose if we're part of a team. So that's going to show up on every single contract. Say you have certain terms that you'd like to use on your buyer or on your contract to purchase. I can't tell you what those terms are, but you can pre-write those in there. So the template feature, one, the brokerage will have our standard ones, but you can create ones for your team or your solo agent that helps you in filling out these contracts. So I'm going to just, so I can jump in here. So here's my form. I can add a text box if I want. And you can edit. So this is kind of what also looks like when you receive a contract from a client, you need to upload the PDF. This is how you add text boxes if you need to fill it in or add signatures. And then I can put in Keller Williams, Kevin Hills Realty. Oh, that's what I did. Yeah. This one is a form that I need to get fixed online, but if it's fillable, it has the boxes already in here. Again, I used the worst possible document because I wrote down that buyer brokerage firm isn't fillable, but
Hey,
you can
Lindsay.
put it,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, just something before I just kind of forget. There's a form in the KW documents that at one time it was a required document and it's not anymore, but it's in the KW documents in DocuSign. It's called recommended purchasing precautions. And it's just basically a blanket overview of everything a buyer can do when purchasing a home. And
Okay.
I just, it doesn't have to be a required document, but I like using it every single time because they sign it and it's everything you can do, like get a survey, do all this stuff. And one time it saved me because my client didn't do a survey and then it was a screwed up property lines. And yeah, it was a bad situation because she signed that form that said get a survey that we recommended it. It saved me a lot of heartache. So it's a great form. I just like to make sure that gets uploaded into our.
Can you do me a favor? Can you email me the PDF and I will get it to Lonewolf and they'll have it.
Okay.
Yeah, just shoot it to me in an email. I'll upload it to Lonewolf. They'll make it fillable and then it will be an option for you as a market center specific form.
Okay. Perfect.
You put it into the checklist as optional. So then every time that you create your opportunity and it builds the documents for you, that it would pop up, but it's not going to be a required document.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so then you can fill in as much information in here as possible. If you want to create this template, you just hit save, go back to your, again, we're editing and creating a template. All right. You can have parties. So if you have a transaction coordinator that you want on every single one of your rooms or in every single one of your transactions, you can have a template that automatically adds that party. You can create to-do lists. These are all checklists. So if I want to create a buyer to-do list, my list name is buyer. I can add to do the title, and this could be for your transaction coordinator. Maybe they need to verify that the earnest money has been deposited. Maybe you want your transaction coordinator to schedule the inspections. You can create any of these to-do lists. Maybe it's submitting your file for compliance after you go under contract. You can create a to-do list. Verify EM. Due date relative to transaction date, it can be after 3 days after. And offer acceptance date. So in Ohio, the contract that you fit starts the day after the offer has been fully executed, and we have to turn in earnest money within 3 days. So you can see where you can go down a rabbit hole. You can see where you can go down a rabbit hole of customizing the to-do list to help you systematize this. And the last thing that I want to show you, so that's in templates. Go back over to transactions, you can find your documents. There is something else. Parties. When you go up to your name and you go to settings, you can create groups. And so you can create a group, add a group. I'm going to call this my TC. You select your office, Seven Hills, And so anyone that has signed up for Lone Wolf, you can add them to a group. So I'm going to add my PC to this example. You hit add. You go to save. I'm going to edit this. Oh, I did it too quickly. Right here, you can designate if they are editing or if they're just viewing. So if you create a group that you can have them edit, you can hit save. And then I believe, and I just learned this last night, that automatically share transactions. So every single time you create an opportunity and you create the Lone Wolf, it will automatically add that Annie to every single one of my documents. So if you have a transaction coordinator, you have somebody on your team, you have a rainmaker that you need to do this for, it will automatically add them so that they have access under their login to that particular transaction. Does that make sense? I saw this last night. Ooh. There's the nerd out. Okay. I don't want to add Annie to all my things, but there you go. So there's a lot that you can do with it, but just the basic stuff is very, very easy. And then of course you can go at higher levels with it as far as the checklists and templates and everything like that. So as a broker, I'm going to work with Tracy to create just the generic templates that will have the brokerage license information so that it's easy for that. You don't have to constantly look that stuff up. Any questions that you guys have right now? Yeah.
In terms of like how you info from the MLS listing, like even just add a tax specific thing there, I just put in an address for a listing I saw. It was built in 2025 and it did the land-based paying disclosure. So does it like filter out like
So it's not that. Yeah.
so like if I go to the documents, so it's a house built in 2025, so there's a land-based paying disclosure.
Sure.
So it wasn't included. And does it kind of filter that out or is it just
No, so it's going to, the documents are set up as requirements, so you're optional, you're conditional, and conditional. It's not that smart where you recognize, okay, this is not fulfilled in science TV.
so how would you mix it up? How would you manage land-based disclosure?
So this is the buy side. When you do the list side,
Oh,
it'll automatically call it.
sorry.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Any questions?
One other question, so like set the DocuSign, is it when the climbers can export that stuff to this or?
So we'll send out more information about the API, so everyone can have access to API. You don't want to do it too early, because it's a 30-day window. But what we can do is API integration and download everything from what you have in DocuSign into a Google Drive. Anything, if you have an active I highly suggest transactions to do Lonewolf to just stay practicing. But if you have anything that's still active in DocuSign coming July 1st, I would suggest downloading those documents and creating you can manually create a new transaction.
Like you can download it to your computer and upload it into okay.
Because you can select all those documents and hit bulk download and it'll export it into a compressed file and then you can drag and drop. Yeah. Do you have a question?
Yeah, but it's just, I think I made a mistake. There's one screen on here before we would like read that. Can I add it? I didn't really. Oh, yeah. That extra paper.
So I'm not sure what it is.
Yes. It was before we did get into this. It was in the very beginning. They have the third on the left side.
This is the command. So this is a custom folder where you can just drop documents in, like your consultation. So each of these folders are independent. So if you get a buyer contract, like a buyer agreement signed, you can submit these files, because you don't have to be in the contract documents. So this you can submit just for those, submit MC, and then on the contract. But just so similar to DocuSign, when you're in command, you just drop the documents. Now, right now, it says I have no options because it's only going to pull the fully executed documents for your option for compliance on here. Okay, wow, and we did that in less than an hour. So if you guys find any issues, please don't hesitate. Shoot the KLRW858 an email. Let me know if there's missing documents. If you come across a document that's missing a field, just blow up that email and I'll get all that from back. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I don't know. Yeah. So I start all my Well, thank you guys online. If you guys have any questions, let me know, okay?